Welcome to Law Easy. My name is Marty Shenkman. This video clip is about planning for a family farm or even a small family business. So here's a common problem that comes up. When you have 2, 3, 4 kids or other heirs, doesn't have to be kids, and you want to leave the family farm to the one of the 3 kids that's in the business, that's active on the farm, and the other 2 kids aren't, what do? And a lot of times I've seen a bequest to that child of the farm. Probably not a great idea. First, what happens if that child gets divorced? Now the the farm that's been in the family for generations is lost. Better to have it in a trust. Another issue, litigation. We live in the most litigious society in the history of the planet. Putting anything outright, giving anything, bequeathing anything outright to any child, why do that if for a very modest amount of money you can create at least a simple trust under a will or revocable trust? Another issue, what happens the next generation down? Many people that have a closely held business or family farm, it's been in the family for generations and they want to continue that. There's a much better approach that's not that uncommon in planning. Transfer the farm or the family business to a dynastic trust. That's a trust that just goes on as long as state law allows. And if there's enough wealth involved, value involved, you can go to one of the states like Alaska or Delaware that'll let you, or New Jersey even, that let you continue a trust forever. You just would have to create the trust in that jurisdiction, that state, with the local trustee. So if you want a family farm, for example, to go on for generations, consider bequeathing it into a trust that will last forever, if possible. Another issue that is often overlooked, let's say child A is in the business running the farm and the other 2 kids are off doing other things and have no interest in the business. But how do you have any idea until it kind of happens whether the child running the farm, his or her children, are going to want to run the farm? What if instead one of the children that had no interest in farming or no interest in the family business decided that they wanted to come in to the family business? If you give the entire business to one child and a grandchild from another kid wants to go in, you've now created an impossible planning situation. So creating a thoughtful trust that lasts for a lengthy period of time is a much better approach in most instances. 2 other points we have to get out that are important. First, any kind of business, farm, maple syrup, sugar, candy business, you gotta have it in an entity, like a limited liability company. You don't want a situation where the liability from the business could harm your other assets, like your home, your bank account. So make sure that you have a properly formed entity. It's not complicated to do. Make sure you have annual paperwork to prove that you're respecting the entity, minutes, consents, something like that. Again, not a big deal to do. And the final and third point, one of the issues that needs to be dealt with to keep family harmony is if you're giving child A the family farm and it's a major asset of your estate, what about child B and C? Do you equalize them? What's equal? What's equitable? What's fair? Sometimes, but frankly not that often, you can sit down and have a chat with the kids and they'll appreciate that the family business is something that is going to be an intact asset that stays there. But that's kind of superficial and doesn't go far enough. What if a year after your death, the kid that got the family farm that's been in the family for many, many generations says, you know what, I'm going to sell the farm, take the money and sit on a beach in, I don't know, the Caribbean and drink those little drinks with the funny little umbrellas. Now what happens? So all the sort of deal that was made, the understanding the family had, goes by the wayside. You're much better off using an entity to own the farm or business, have that entity owned by a trust, and give thoughtful consideration to who the trustee should be and how you preserve your goals for the family business. Remember that all the information on Shenkman Education is for educational purposes only. Don't take any legal, tax, or other action without talking to a lawyer. That sounds like a lawyer. Thank you for joining me.